Hello and welcome to Quick Learn Photography, straight to the point videos that teach you everything that I've learned in over the last 10 years of professional photography. My name's James, and in this one we're going to talk about lighting again, but off camera lighting, okay? Off camera flash. So see these things here, that and that, they're off camera. Now in the previous video, a couple of videos actually, we learned about speed lights, which are these, which sit on the hot shoe of your camera, so when you take a picture it sends a signal up there to the flash, and whatever type of lighting you want from that, out it goes, but it goes from the direction of your camera. Okay, so the camera controls the flash, and it has lots and lots of uses that the last video would have shown. Now you might have heard the phrase off camera flash, or you might have seen setups like this one here. These are only basic soft boxes, but whether it's umbrellas or soft boxes or ginormous soft boxes, whatever, they're off camera and the lights sit in there. So there's brackets in there, they sit in there, and there's one behind there I'm going to show you in a minute. So the lights are in there. Even these lights do that as well. So you can start with a speed light. So let's get this off camera, okay? And just pretend that this is in there on the bracket. You'll see it in a minute, so it'll be in the softbox like that. But how is the camera going to tell that, or those, however many you've got, to take the photo? This is when you need a trigger like this. This is a Godox trigger that goes with the lights that I use. So just like the flash that sits on the hot shoe, the trigger sits on the hot shoe like that. There it is. Now the flashes I use fortunately have a receiver built into the flash itself. If your flash hasn't got that, like I think even things like Canon and Nikon ones, they don't have a receiver built in, or third-party ones, whatever. You have to buy something that clips onto the hot shoe, okay? And then the receiver that clips onto the camera, and then this will talk to this, okay? Or whatever you connect there, like a little receiver. Fortunately, these ones, they're from Godox. They have receivers built in, and they're not that expensive considering how amazing they are. So this has a receiver built in. So does this one as well. This is one that I use a lot. This is a more powerful studio light, and it's portable. Again, it's got a lithium battery like that, so it'll last for ages, and it's more powerful, nearly 3 times as powerful as those speed lights. So that will sit up in there in the bracket. I'll show you in a minute. This has a receiver built into it as well. So when you turn this on, it lights up, and you can control each different flash. So you've got A, B there. So 2 of the flashes are designated. One's A and one's B. And what you can do is control, you can pick let's pick A, okay? And you can control your power output. So I don't know if you saw the last video with doing this with the flash on camera, because it's in manual, but with this, you can do it from the trigger. So you could have flash A on 1/4 power, flash B on half of that, 1/8 power, even more, whatever you wanted. You could have 4 or 5, this goes up to quite a lot. You could have loads of lights all dotted around, and this will talk to all of them, and you can control the power output. This is this one, a Godox. Other ones are a bit different. Sometimes all the trigger will do that you've bought will set off the light. You have to actually put the power output on the light itself, okay? So all the trigger will do is just set off the light, and whatever you set those to, it will do. But these ones are great because you can control it from the actual trigger, and these are only like 60-70 pound. They're amazing, really, really good, and I've used these for years, so pretty reliable. It's Godox. So what happens with that? So you take, when you press the button on the camera, the shutter, it talks to the receiver talks to the flash and receiver built in, or the receiver attached, and pops off the flash. And depending on the power that you've put it, then you've got off camera flash. So that's a little overview of how it works. So off camera flash is starting to get really, really professional now. Not in a I don't mean that in a patronizing way. It's just you can make photos look so good with off-camera flash, especially portraits. That's where I use it a lot. This is my job. I make an income from using those a lot, okay? So off-camera flash can really stand apart the photos. So if you just blast someone with flash, everyone can tell. But if you use off-camera flash, you can really control the light and the angle and start to make portraits in particular, or whatever it is you're doing, really good, really stand out with the lighting. And also, as a little sideline, you can start charging quite well for that, because not many people know how to do off-camera flash. It seems really intimidating or daunting. So off-camera flash is great. So you can have multiple lights set up, or just one, perhaps one and a reflector like that one there. So you could have this light come in here, the reflector at the side, it'll bounce a bit more light off, and you've got an amazing setup for portraits there, just with one off-camera flash. So yeah, let's look at some images now while I'm talking of some of the portraits you can do. So you can get nicely bright lit ones with two lights and lighten up the background, or just a little less fall off from the background. I'm going to go into more details later. Or you can start playing around with off-camera flash and really make some cool looking shots, especially a little bit more editorial or moody or whatever. Also with lighting, you can put gels on as well and start getting creative with colors too, if that's your thing. I mean, you can do a lot of this in editing, but these sort of come straight out of camera because you put a gel in front of the flash, just a little strip of paper that's a different color. I'm going to do a video on that later. But yeah, just making off-camera flash, you can really make things look good. So if you notice the angles of these up here, they're sort of at a nice 45-degree angle, which is a good start. And if, just as an illustration, do you notice when the sun's going down, everything starts looking good? It's because of that angle that it's at the sky. Everybody takes photos of the sunset, but look at what the sunset is doing to things. Like if you want a really good portrait of a person, do it while the sun's going down at an angle. Buildings, trees, whatever it is you're photographing, always looks good when that angle starts changing, okay? So look at the angle of that light. It's a nice angle and you can get some really good images from it, from that angle. So that's why off-camera flash is so good, as when the flash is actually on the camera, you're stuck with the kind of angle you've got. You can bounce it and all that, which I did in the previous video. But off-camera flash is really stepping it up now. So let's have a little play with it. I'll show you how it works, and yeah, I'll just show you now. Okay, so we've got a quick setup here, just a basic studio setup. There's a backdrop, my trusty model, camera's in, and the trigger is on, and it's going to talk to the speed light up there, which fits into this bracket, or you can use like an umbrella. Now this flash has a receiver built into it, and the trigger is going to talk to it. So the setting there, we're on B, that flash up there is B, and we're at 132. So ignore A, B, C, D, and E, because I haven't got any other lights connected. We've just got the one. So this is just purely to show you off-camera flash, what it'll do. And we've got a nice angle there, steady angle, which will make for some pretty cool portraits. Now, one of the most important things with off-camera flash is to get your settings in the camera so that it's not going to let any ambient light in at all. The only light you want is from the light source that you've got. So first thing is turn the ISO right down, okay, right to the base level. You do not want the ISO on auto or anything like that. Excuse the focus of my phone. So the shutter speed is pretty low and it's letting in too much light. So if I drop it even more, you can see it's getting brighter and brighter. This is a live view on a Nikon DSLR. Okay, so it's showing you how much ambient light is affecting the image. What we want to do is get it to this, so now it's not letting in any light, and the aperture accordingly. If I drop the aperture a bit, it starts letting some ambient light in, and we don't want that. We want to kill off all the external light, okay? So F5, there it goes. That's pretty black. So if I turn the trigger off and take an image with these settings, There's the preview. There's nothing there. It's pitch black, okay? So let's turn the trigger on. We've got it pre-focused on our subject. The trigger is going to talk to the light. And if that light didn't have a receiver, you'd get one that connects to the bottom of it and it would talk to that. So I've already focused on the subject. I've got the white balance set. Let's take the image. And there you go. Look at that. Let's do a preview. That's pretty cool. That's a nice portrait there, okay? Now, if I make the flash brighter, so we're not going to touch any variables in the camera. We're going to leave the settings how they are. So let's go to half power, take the same shot, and it's way too bright. Look at that. Don't like that. That's nasty. So let's get it back to, let's go 16th. See what happens there. And that's lovely. And there's not too much bounce shine off her forehead. The reason I like this mannequin is because she's bald. So sometimes you might have to photograph someone that's bald and you don't want massive shine hitting the top of their head. So excuse the preview. So that's off camera flash. Now you can change the angle and everything. You can make it more down and over or face on or more flat, whatever. We'll deal with that later on future videos, but all this is showing you is the effect of a simple off-camera flash setup, okay? Where you can get really nice portraits like this. Now, as you noticed here, you've got lots of different A, B, C, so that can be different flashes. So I could have another one there at the same angle like that, and it would light the subject evenly, okay? So it just depends what you're after for these kind of bright setups. So that's just a quick demo of how off-camera flash works. Okay, so you can see the effect with off-camera flash and what it can do. It's a really good thing to learn and start playing around with. So you need a bit more of a setup. You can start off with just one light, one speed light. A speed light's all it takes. And one trigger system. So you have to look into whatever speed light you've got and make sure that the trigger syncs with the camera and with the speed light or whatever light you've got, okay? So off-camera flash is where it starts getting really cool and your photos really start to stand out. So I hope that helps, and we're going to do more on different types of lighting in the future videos. Now, if you want to really learn with one-to-one coaching with me, I'm offering that service. Hit the link below and we can have, perhaps you can drop an email as to what you're after, what you'd like to learn more at, and I can do a one-to-one Zoom call with you and coach you through and help you out with photography, whether it's lighting or something from the previous stuff about photography. So I'm offering that service too. So I hope this helps, and yeah, really start playing around with off-camera flash, because that's when things start getting really cool. Thanks for watching.